Hello. I'm Julia Quinn. I'm from the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, and it's my turn on the wonderful Everyday Details Stamp Camp today to share my fun fold with you. My fun fold is a really fantastic way to show off designer series paper, so you can see both sides of the paper, and it's a really easy fold actually, and just so versatile. You can use it for so many things. So the first thing I want to show you, and all of these measurements are in the PDF that come with the stamp camp, but the easiest way is half a piece of designer series paper. So any designer series paper, or even you can use on your ordinary cardstock paper. And if you're using inches, it's scored at 2 inches, 4 inches, then 8 inches and 10 inches. So basically 2 inches. And if you're using centimetres, you'll need to chop it off at 30 centimetres and do it at 5 centimetres, 10 centimetres, 20 centimetres and 25 centimetres. So let me show you. Oops, sorry, here on my trimmer. Okay, so get my scoring blade ready. So 2, 4, and then 8, and then 10. And then to create these lovely little pointy sides, just let me have a look and see if I can see. Yep, I can. That you can see what I can see. Rightio. Hello, Maswari. Thanks for joining. Now, to create these two little pointy bits, what I do, because I'm a bit lazy, I guess, is I go into my trimmer and score 2 inches just from, no, actually it should be 2 inches from the other end. 2 inches. It doesn't really matter how far up you do it, 5 centimetres or 2 inches, but then you use that little mark there, which I will be able to see better on the other side, there, and the first score line, and trim from there to the first score line, and cut. And then from that same point to the second score line, and they're both lined up in my trimmer, and cut. And then you've got extra pieces for fussy cutting for the front of your card. Okay, and coming in from the other side, from the second score line to my little mark here, line that up in my trimmer, and cut. And then for the bottom, from that little mark to the first score line, and cut. Okay, so that's all the complex part of the card done. And then you get to choose whether you want your card to be floral on the inside or coloured on the inside. And I chose to do the floral on the inside, and then I'm just folding on my score lines there to create the lovely little concertina in and out. Hello, thank you for joining me. So lovely that you could be here. Okay, so there you go. That's the fun fold. And as I said, you've got your fussy cutting pieces here. I'll just put my card here out of the way and get all my bits and pieces back in here to decorate. Now, I have already done my fussy cutting, but if you're making this at home, just use your leftover scrap pieces to cut out the floral bits to add to your card. So you've got your little bit there, a little bit there, and a lovely big floral bit there. Okay. Now the card base is just a little bit bigger. Oh my goodness, I've cut the wrong size card base there. Hang on, I just have to, I got a bit confused. I got interrupted halfway through cutting my cardstock. I'll just get some more Starry Sky. So my Starry Sky, I want to cut at 10.5 centimetres. Is that going to be tall enough? Still not tall enough. I should have cut it the other way, Julia. Silly me. Hang on. I apologise for that. Now, I'm going to make sure I measure my cardstock here. I've got this at 6 inches, so I'll just cut it a little bit longer than 6 inches, and then 10.5 centimeters. I actually thought I'd cut it a little bit smaller, but maybe I didn't. So there we go. My goodness, I'm still wrong. 16.5. I think I've used the wrong piece of paper. But anyway, for the purposes of today, I've done one like this for you. All right, and I'll just cut that. I've used the total wrong piece of designer series paper. I'm supposed to use the other half. And put the wrong one away. Pop that onto my card. See, I've still cut it wrong. I'm having a bad Saturday morning today. There we go. That bit's done. And then for the next bit, we're going to cover up that join there with a little bit of Starry Sky, but because it has to open up, we remember only put adhesive on this side. So what I usually do is flip it over so I can see exactly where I'm cutting and use the line of the fold line to put my adhesive and then just line that up in the middle. Okay. And then I've got a little bit of designer series paper just over the top of that for a little bit of contrast and to bring in that lovely boot, and also to show off the nice detail. Now I've used the lovely die that has the inside and the outside bit, but I've cut both a Starry Sky and a basic white piece, which I need to brush out all of the bits and pieces from. Just give them a bit of a brush, get all of them out. Doesn't matter about the Starry Sky bit, because the reason why I wanted to show off those little dots a bit more, so that's why I cut the second one and then just offset it so that none of the holes show. So then you get your lovely Starry Sky version behind the white there. There we go. And that's the way it goes. And then I'm going to, with my, so I'm using Starry Sky and Flirty Flamingo as my colours to go with this lovely paper. So I'm going to use some Flirty Flamingo ink and my blending brush and just add a tiny bit of pink around the edges of my white there. Okay, and then a tiny bit of Flirty Flamingo just on the edges of my panel for inside my card, just to pick up the lovely pink of the beautiful designer series paper. It's very subtle. I'm not sure if you can see, the same as Miss Rowe's card before. It's nice and light. Okay, and then I'll just give that a bit of a wipe on my mat there, because I have a tendency to make a mess. I'll just cover up that. And then with my Starry Sky, I'm going to use the Wishing You So Much Joy on this special day. And I love what Tracy said about stamping inside a circle. So much easier to line it up and make sure it's straight. And then on the inside of my card, I've got this lovely floral vase. Now I'm not going to colour it in like Tracy did. Instead I'm going to use my Wink of Stella to add a bit of colour to it. So just because I've just stamped it, the Wink of Stella does dilute the ink a bit and can drag it out to give it a bit of extra colour. I'm not sure if you can see that. See how it bleeds the ink just a touch? And just adding the Stella to all those little flowers. Should I add it to the leaves too, do you think? Maybe. It's not very precise colouring, it's just adding some beautiful glitter, but also blending the ink as well. There we go. Okay, I think that's it for the inside of my card. Let me have a look. Yep. And that one goes on this mat here. And then the mat, I need the mat to make sure it stands out on the beautiful paper on the inside of the card. Pop that in there. There we are. And a little bit of the Flirty Flamingo. Now I like to, with baker's twine, double it up to make a double bow, because I just find it a bit hard to deal with because it's thin and fine with a single bow. So with doubled, I'll just tie it in a bow there. Hang on. Oop. Pull you down and pull you down. There we go. And trim off my strings there. Pop you out of the way. And I'll put that with a mini glue dot inside my card. Stick you onto the mini glue dot and pull you off. There we go. So that's the inside of the card done. And then the front of the card, I've got this lovely circle, which I'm going to add some dimensionals to. And then I'll also add some dimensionals to my fussy cut flowers. Now, I'm sorry for the big mix-up with my measurements and design. Okay, with my nice big one, pop you up in this corner. And I've got a couple like that, but obviously that's sticking out a bit, so I might trim off the ends of that one a bit there. And just do 2 dimensionals on those little flowers there. There we go. And the last thing is to add these. I've really loved these foil gems. They're just, I think they're great for any occasion. And they just add a little bit of sparkle. Add 3 of them to the front of my card. Now, have I done everything? Let me have a look. Oh, no, I need to add the rest of these lovely flowers that I've cut out on the inside. I forgot about that. Okay, let's add these ones up the top here. Mainly just to use up the flowers that have already been fussy cut. This paper is fantastic for fussy cutting. So many options. And quite easy to cut too, really. Especially for those lovely floral and birdie images. There we go. Oop. There's our double concertina fold card, fun fold. And up next, I think, will be Tracy with her 2 simple folds. Oh yes, you have to do fussy cutting, Lorraine. It really, this paper just lends itself to it so much. There you go. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you a little bit later on with my 2 simple cards. Bye bye.